Lucretius Alfred Lord Tennyson Lucilla, wedded to Lucretius, found her master cold. For when the morning flush of passion and the first embrace had died between them, though he loved her none the less, yet often when the woman heard his foot return from pacings in the field, and ran to greet him with a kiss, the master took small notice, or austerely, for his mind half buried in some weightier argument, or fancy borne perhaps upon the rise and long roll of the hexameter, he passed to turn and plunder those 300 scrolls left by the teacher, whom he held divine. She brooked it not, but wrathful, petulant, dreaming some rival, sought and found a witch who brewed the philter which had power, they said, to lead an errant passion home again. And this, at times, she mingled with his drink, and this destroyed him. For the wicked broth confused the chemic labor of the blood, and tickling the brute brain within a man's made havoc among those tender cells, and checked his power to shape. He loathed himself, and once after a tempest woke upon a morn that mocked him with returning calm, and cried, Ampersand quo! Storm in the night. For thrice I heard the rain rushing, and once the flash of a thunderbolt. Methought I never saw so fierce a fork, struck out the streaming mountainside, and showed a riotous confluence of watercourses blanching and billowing in a hollow of it, where all but yestereve was dusty dry. Ampersand quo! Storm, and what dreams, ye holy gods, what dreams! For thrice I wakened after dreams. Perchance we do but recollect the dreams that come just ere the waking. Terrible, for it seemed a void was made in nature, all her bonds cracked, and I saw the flaring atom streams and torrents of her myriad universe, ruining along the illimitable inane, fly on to clash together again, and make another and another frame of things forever. That was mine, my dream, I knew it, of and belonging to me, as the dog with inward yelp and restless forefoot plies his function of the woodland. But the next, I thought that all the blood by Scylla shed came driving rain-like down again on earth, and where it dashed the reddening meadow, sprang no dragon warriors from Cadmean teeth, for these I thought my dream would show to me, but girls, heterae, curious in their art, hired animalisms, vile as those that made a mulberry-faced dictator's orgies worse than aught they fable of the quiet gods. And hands they mixed, and yelled and round me drove in narrowing circles till I yelled again half suffocated, and sprang up, and saw, was it the first beam of my latest day? Ampersand quo! Then, from utter gloom stood out the breasts of Helen, and hoveringly a sword now over and now under, now direct, pointed itself to pierce, but sank down shamed at all that beauty. And as I stared, a fire, the fire that left a ruthless Ilion, shot out of them, and scorched me that I woke. Ampersand quo! Is this thy vengeance, holy Venus, thine, because I would not one of thine own doves, not even a rose, were offered to thee? Thine, forgetful how my rich premium makes thy glory fly along the Italian field, in ways that will outlast thy deity? Ampersand quo! Deity? Nay, thy worshippers. My tongue trips, or I speak profanely. Which of these angers thee most, or angers thee at all? Not if thou beest of those who, far aloof from envy, hate and pity, and spite and scorn, live the great life which all our greatest fame would follow, centred in eternal calm. Ampersand quo! Nay, if thou canst, zero goddess, like ourselves touch, and be touched, then would I cry to thee to kiss thy Mavers, roll thy tender arms round him, and keep him from the lust of blood that makes a steaming slaughter-house of Rome. Ampersand quo! But I meant not thee. I meant Riot, her whom all the pines of Ida shook to see slide from that quiet heaven of hers, and tempt the Trojan, while his neverts were abroad, nor her that o'er her wounded hunter wept her deity false in human amorous tears, nor whom her beardless ample arbiter decided fairest. Rather, O ye gods, poet-like, as the great Sicilian called Calliope to grace his golden verse, and this keeperess also, did I take that popular name of thine to shadow forth the all-generating powers and genial heat of nature, when she strikes through the thick blood of cattle, and lies is large, and lambs are glad nosing the mother's udder, and the bird makes his heart voice amid the blaze of flowers, which things appear the work of mighty gods. Ampersand quo! The gods. And if I go, my work is left unfinished. If I go, the gods, who haunt the lucid interspace of world and world, where never creeps a cloud, or moves a wind, nor ever falls the least white star of Mo, nor ever lowest scroll of thunder moans, nor sound of human sorrow mounts to mar their sacred everlasting calm. And such, not all so fine, nor so divine a calm, not such, nor all unlike it, man may gain letting his own life go. The gods soul if all be atoms, how then should the gods being atomic not be dissoluble, not follow the great law? My master held that gods there are, for all men so believe. I pressed my footsteps into his, and meant surely to lead my Mimius in a train of flowery clauses onward to the proof that gods there are, and deathless. Meant? I meant? I have forgotten what I meant, my mind stumbles, and all my faculties are lamed. Ampersand quo. Look where another of our gods, the sun Apollo, Delius, or of older use all-seeing Hyperion, what you will, has mounted yonder. Since he'd never swear, except his wrath were wreaked on wretched man, that he would only shine among the dead hereafter, tales. For never yet on earth could dead flesh creep, or bits of roasting ox moan round the spit, nor knows he what he sees. King of the East although he seem, and girt with song and flame and fragrance, slowly lifts his golden feet on those empurpled stairs that climb into the windy halls of heaven, and here he glances on an eye new-born, and gets for greeting but a wail of pain. And here he stays upon a freezing orb that fain would gaze upon him to the last. And here upon a yellow eyelid fallen and closed by those who mourn a friend in vain, not thankful that his troubles are no more. And me, although his fire is on my face blinding, he sees not, nor at all can tell whether I mean this day to end myself, or lend an ear to Plato where he says, that men like soldiers may not quit the post allotted by the gods. But he that holds the gods are careless, wherefore need he care greatly for them, nor rather plunge at once, being troubled, wholly out of sight, and sink past earthquake, and gout and stone, that break body toward death, and palsy, death in life, and wretched age, and worst disease of all, these prodigies of myriad nakednesses, and twisted shapes of lust, unspeakable, abominable, strangers at my hearth not welcome, harpies miring every dish, the phantom husks of something fully done, and fleeting through the boundless universe, and blasting the long quiet of my breast with animal heat and dire insanity? Ampersand quo. How should the mind, except it loved them, clasp these idols to herself? Or do they fly now thinner, and now thicker, like the flakes in a fall of snow, and so press in, perforce of multitude, as crowds that in an hour of civic tumult jam the doors, and bear the keepers down, and throng, their rags and the basest, far into that council hall where sit the best and stateliest of the land? Can I not fling this horror off me again, seeing with how great ease nature can smile balmier and nobler from her bath of storm, at random ravage? And how easily the mountain there has cast his cloudy slough, now towering o'er him in earnest air, a mountain o'er a mountain. And within all hollow as the hopes and fears of men? Ampersand quo. But who was he that in the garden snared Picus and Faunus, rustic gods? A tale to laugh at, more to laugh at in myself, for look. What is it? There? Yon arbutus totters. A noiseless riot underneath strikes through the wood, sets all the tops quivering. The mountain quickens into nymph and faun, and here no red, how the sun delights to glance and shift about her slippery sides, and rosy knees and supple roundedness, and budded bosom peaks, who this way runs before the rest. A satire, see, follows. But him I proved impossible twi-natured is no nature. Yet he draws nearer and nearer, and I scan him now beastlier than any phantom of his kind that ever budded his rough brother brute for lust or lusty blood or provender. I hate, abhor, spit, sicken at him. And chose him as well. Such a precipitate heel, fledged as it were with Mercury's ankle wing, whirls her to me. But will she fling herself shameless upon me? Catch her, go at foot. Nay, hide them, million-myrtled wilderness, and cavern-shadowing laurels, hide. Do I wish, what? That the bush were leafless? Or to whelm all of them in one massacre? O ye gods, I know you careless, yet, behold, to you from childly want and ancient use I call, I thought I lived securely as yourselves, no lewdness, narrowing envy, monkey spite, no madness of ambition, avarice, none. No larger feast than under plane or pine with neighbors laid along the grass, to take only such cups as left us friendly warm, affirming each his own philosophy, nothing to mar the sober majesties of settled, sweet, Epicurean life. But now it seems some unseen monster lays his vast and filthy hands upon my will, wrenching it backward into his, and spoils my bliss and being. And it was not great, for save when shutting reasons up in rhythm, or Heliconian honey in living words, to make a truth less harsh, I often grew tired of so much within our little life, or of so little in our little life, poor little life that toddles half an hour crowned with a flower or two, and there an end. And since the nobler pleasure seems to fade, why should I, beast-like as I find myself, not man-like end myself? Our privilege. What beast has heart to do it? And what man, what Roman would be dragged in triumph thus? Not I. Not he, who bears one name with her whose death blow struck the dateless doom of kings, when, brooking not the Tarquin in her veins, she made her blood in sight of Collatine and all his peers, flushing the guiltless air, spat from the maiden fountain in her heart. And from it sprang the commonwealth, which breaks as I am breaking now. Ampersand quo. And therefore now let her, that is the womb and tomb of all great nature, take, and forcing far apart those blind beginnings that have made me man, dash them anew together at her will, throw all her cycles, into man once more, or beast or bird or fish, or opulent flower. But till this cosmic order everywhere shattered into one earthquake and one day cracks all to pieces. And that hour perhaps is not so far when momentary man shall seem no more a something to himself, but he, his hopes and hates, his homes and fans, and even his bones long laid within the grave, the very sides of the grave itself shall pass, vanishing, atom and void, into the unseen forever. Till that hour, my golden work in which I told a truth that stays the rolling Ixionian wheel, and numbs the Fury's ringlet snake, and plucks the mortal soul from out immortal hell shall stand. Surely. Then it fails at last and perishes as I must, for O thou passionless bride, divine tranquility, yearned after by the wisest of the wise who fail to find thee, being as thou art without one pleasure and without one pain, howbeit I know thou surely must be mine or soon or late, yet out of season. Thus I woo thee roughly, for thou carest not how roughly men may woo thee so they win. Thus, the soul flies out and dies in the air with that he drove the knife into his side. She heard him raging, heard him fall, ran in, beat breast, tore hair, cried out upon herself as having failed in duty to him, shrieked that she but meant to win him back, fell on him, clasped, kissed him, wailed. He answered, Ampersand quo. Care not thou. Thy duty? What is duty? Fare thee well. Ampersand quo.